safe haven?
Anything else, Mike?
Yeah, my question is there a safe haven these days if the Swifts are gone?
No, there's no. I don't think there's any safe havens left. I mean, you should have your money where you live.
That's why they call it
the bulk of your assets in gold and silver.
That's why they call it the New World Order. There's nowhere to run.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Bob, I'm going to twist your arm to do 5 more minutes. Is that cool?
Of course it is.
All right, well, if you got to go, I understand. We're going to go to break then, come right back to you, and try to get to Kathy, Tom, Kevin, and John, if we have time, as quickly as possible. And then I'm going to news blitz and cover some other key issues in the last 30 minutes of this radio broadcast today. But Bob Chapman of theinternationalforecaster.com is our guest. You can go check it out and get a free complimentary digital copy or hard copy there at theinternationalforecaster.com. He'll give you a number before he leaves, so you can also call and get a complimentary copy. Don't forget our websites are Infowars.net, WhatIsTheEndgame.com, PrisonPlanet.tv, and PrisonPlanet.com. Stay with us. Kathy in New Orleans, you're on the air with Bob Chapman and Alex Jones. Go ahead. Welcome.
Hi, how are you, Bob and Alex? I wanted to share a little secret. We gave up our Saints season tickets this year in order to finance our radio show. That's how dedicated we were. We were able to share the whole truth with New Orleans about the Fed, cap and trade, Copenhagen. We were able to save countless number of people's of not taking the swine flu shot, and it was worth every penny.
You know, it's funny you brought that.
Thank you.
It's funny you brought that up, Kathy, because in the next segment I was going to talk about boycotting the Super Bowl, and I'll explain why when we come back. But you just crystallized it: swine flu shot killing people, full of mercury, economy falling apart, our country sliding into depression. And it's not that the Super Bowl is bad. It's that we better make some sacrifices and get our heads screwed on straight for real issues, or we're going to lose it all and be like Argentina or Nigeria. Bob Chapman.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, and this is a way to do it. And it's about time people turned away from the trivialities of the social life of America, in fact, worldwide. You got to get serious about what's going on. It's very, very bad, and it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse.
You've got to change
come to grips.
You've got to change your priorities. How much were you able to sell season tickets for?
No, we didn't even sell them. We gave them up because this was our goal to get this radio talk show. We didn't have sponsors at Gary King with Patriot Radio, and we didn't have a sponsor at the time, and we had a chance to get a radio spot. So we didn't even sell it. We gave them up, not even, thinking of that. Now, hindsight, we wish that we would have sold them, but we were so dedicated at the time, because if you remember last March, that's when we started hearing the information about the swine flu and what was going to happen. And we felt like we had to get on the ground floor so we could tell people, not to take the shots.
I recognize your voice. Didn't you and your partner come visit me at the office?
We did. On his birthday, you let us in. It was just so cool. You gave him a CD for his birthday, and you encouraged us. And, in the beginning, it's not really easy to get a sponsor. Now we're with Ecola Blue, and we love them, and we have a great relationship, and we talk to Dr. Reem Alebo every week, and it's just great. But, that first step out in faith, you have to do it. You have to do it.
Well, I appreciate your call. Yeah, I've always encouraged my listeners to go buy Saturday or Sunday time to start with, and if you do it a few months, you normally get enough listeners to get a few sponsors to then finance yourself to wake up tens of thousands in your town or city. And if I remember correctly, they're on a pretty big station in New Orleans. Start a website, whatever. It's about everybody being leaders, and that's what I've always tried to facilitate. Or get an access TV show, or start a local newspaper or newsletter. Again, it's about empowering everyone to take action, Bob.
Everybody listens to Glenn Beck, and we are going to fight to get them to come on our side.
All right.
This is worthy of
well, Kathy, that's great news. Well, let me jam in one quick more call for Bob Chapman. A quick question for Bob. Tom in Arizona, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks for having me. Hey, with the $1.5 trillion deficit that we've got, and they're going to refinance $2 trillion of short-term treasuries coming due, how are they going to do this? Are they going to have a $300 billion auction? What's Bernanke going to do? How is he going to float?
They're going to monetize it. They're going to buy it themselves with SDRs, right, Bob? Yeah, we lose Bob's line. He's not in the United States sometimes, but we'll have him back on next week, or if he calls back in, we'll say bye to him. But absolutely, Tom, I mean, they're going to have to monetize it. The Federal Reserve is going to buy it itself. That's kind of like the snake eating its tail, isn't it?
Right, but when they're putting out Treasury auctions at $1.3 billion, they're going to have to start doubling this stuff. Let me get Bob to answer the question. Bob, your line dropped real fast. How is the Fed, when it offers trillions of dollars well, I mean, ask your question again, caller. Well, we've got a $1.5 trillion deficit, and he's got to refinance another $2 trillion that are coming due in short-term treasuries. That's $3.5 trillion. They're going to have to auction off this coming year. And who's going to buy it? They're going to monetize it, aren't they, Bob?
They will, yes. And that's why they're after the retirement plans.
All right. I want you to be able to finish this. We're going to do 2 minutes on the other side with Bob and plug how you get the international forecaster. Stay there, Bob, since your line dropped. I want you to be able to explain what this means to have monetization of debt. This is a big deal. This is what they just did in Venezuela.